I'm Chris Diaz with Genesee Brewing Company. Glad we can finally sit down and talk about your business.
I agree. It's nice to have a face-to-face conversation now.
I just want to say beforehand, though, I love the artwork. Whose work is it?
Thank you. This month we actually have two artists, Richard Harvey and Nancy Val.
Oh, are they for sale or are they for show?
No, actually they're for sale.
Oh, well, that's really great to give back to the local artists of the community.
I completely agree. It's always good to provide that additional outlet for those talented people.
Well, I know you're a busy man. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so just want to talk about your company and start by asking you a few questions, if that's okay.
All right, yeah.
First off, what makes the Little Theater and Cafe such a successful business? In other words, what helps you to stand out?
Well, we are very involved in the community. We screen film festivals and events for Rochester, and our members enjoy the benefits we offer to them.
Okay, how about the cafe specifically?
Well, we have local bands that perform here 5 nights a week, a different band each night. Our food is also local. The desserts come from Scratch Bakery and Baker Street Bakery. The soups, quiche, and chicken come from the Orange Glory, and our beers come from the local breweries like Three Heads and Rohrbach.
Okay, so immersing the customers in a local community, selling local vendors, as opposed to other businesses that sell national products, helps to really help your business stand out, and I can completely see how that makes you successful. You said that you carry a lot of local beers. What kind of feedback have you received about your selection, positive or negative?
Well, overall, the reception has been okay, but we do have our fair share of customers who look at our drink menu and aren't too happy. There's been two major reasons for this. One is that they simply don't know the beers we sell very well, and they don't feel very comfortable spending money on a drink that they aren't sure they'll like. The other reason has been price. Some customers don't love the beer prices, and when you factor that in with the lack of knowledge on the beer brand, it can affect their decisions pretty greatly.
I can understand the confusion on both sides. It's the customer wants to buy a product that supports the local community, but may not be comfortable spending such a high price, and I can see where you are a little bit frustrated trying to sell those local products. How do you think this is affecting your business right now?
Well, we still have our usual clientele that enjoy our craft beer selection, but we're struggling to attract a younger population of people and outsiders from the niche, which we've already cemented ourselves in. It would help to pull some younger crowds because our current customers are mostly all 55 and older.
So the general consensus is that people are looking for a more well-known beer at a lower cost.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so how do you think it would affect your business if you could carry a cost-effective beer that's well-known and produced locally so that it fits in line with your business's values?
I think it's safe to say that the cafe would see a great benefit there. The potential customers could probably feel more comfortable making alcoholic purchases then.
Okay, well I want to talk to you now about Genesee Beer and how that can actually solve some of those needs you have. First thing I want to talk about is the price. It's probably the most obvious feature that we have for our product. Now, if you walk into any bar around East Ave or Rochester and you order a Genesee beer, you'll find that it's going to run around $2 to $3. Now, the cheapest beer that you carry is the Brooklyn Lager at $3.75. So the difference there is pretty obvious for the customer. Anywhere from 75 cents to $1.75 is going to be saved on that customer, and they're going to be a lot more inclined to purchase more beer, especially when you're talking about a young adult, college-aged, little tight-strapped for cash. It's going to be a lot easier to pull in that clientele when you have a cheap product like that. How does that sound to you?
I admit, I really do like the price.
It's usually the most enticing offer for the businesses around here. Second thing I want to talk to you about is the popularity of our brand. Now, you mentioned before that one of the things you're struggling with is that customers come in and look at your menu and they're not really sure of what the brands are that they're looking at. They see Three Heads, Rohrbach, and think, I've heard of it, but I don't know if I'm comfortable enough to spend the money on it. That's where popularity and price go hand in hand with us. People see Genesee Beer and they know the brand because we've been brewing our product for over 100 years, and they feel more comfortable to buy it when it's at such a cheap price. Do you see how that would help to benefit your business?
Yes, I do. It would definitely help to have something on the menu that customers will recognize.
Okay, I completely agree. The third thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that we're locally brewed. Now, this kind of goes without saying, as we've discussed before, but what helps to make the Little Theater successful in cafe, is that you're able to provide local vendors and immerse the customers in the Rochester community, even if they're not from Rochester. What better way to do that than with a product like Genesee Beer, which has been brewed in Rochester for over 100 years and continues to take part in community activities. As you may have noticed recently, we had the keg Christmas tree for the holidays. Helps customers to remember that Genesee Beer is from Rochester, and we also support the local community. Do you see how all of these features can provide some extra value to your business?
It does seem to match up very well, but I do have my concerns.
Okay, what do you want to discuss?
Well, my first issue is really that I don't know where your beers fit into our selection. Genesee has about the same alcohol content as Brooklyn Lager, which we do carry.
I can understand that comparison. A lot of times when people look at two beers with the same alcoholic content, they think I'm picking between two of the same product. But when you juxtapose those two products, I think you'll find a number of differences. The first two that I really don't have to explain too much about is the price and the popularity, which I've discussed before. Brooklyn Lager sells at about $3.75 right now at your business, whereas Genesee beer could be sold around $2 to $3. So the savings there are pretty clear. The second reason that these two products are different is the popularity. People know Genesee beer more than they know Brooklyn Lager, especially younger adults. The other differences between the two are the fact that we are locally brewed, which Brooklyn Lager, as the name suggests, is not brewed in Rochester, and the taste of the products is pretty different as well. A lot of people would place Brooklyn Lager into a craft beer category. Young adults don't typically identify as craft beer enthusiasts. Usually when you're tight strapped on cash, you're just looking for something to take the edge off on a night, especially when you're down the street from the Eastman School of Music, where you have young adults who are more focused on spending their money on their instruments and their classes that they have to take. Usually when they come to a place like the Little Theater or a bar down the road, they just want to spend a little bit of money on a good amount of beer. So they can do that with Genesee beer. Does that help to clarify some of the differences?
Yes, it does. I'm also a little concerned with the size of the company. Genesee is a pretty big business that provides to vendors all across the country. How do I know you'll hear us out if we have any concerns?
That's a fair concern to have. It's always a little bit tough for a small business to get into a relationship with a bigger business because it always feels like the company might be too big to care about your problems. But Genesee beer has always been here in Rochester, and we owe all of our success to the Rochester businesses that have supported us. That's why if there's ever an issue, we're not going to give you a 1-800 number where you talk to a voice that's from another state or another country. We're going to give you my personal number so that if there's ever a situation that's going on, I can come in and we can deal with the matter in person, fix the situation, and then move forward from there. So I don't want you to feel like it's a small business getting into a business deal with a bigger company. I'd rather you look at it as a relationship between you and I, as an owner and as an agent of Genesee beer. Does that help to ease your concern a little bit?
Yeah, I do have one other concern though. Some people like to equate cheap with bad. I want to be able to provide beer at a good price, but I don't want to sacrifice the quality to do that.
It's a common misconception for people to see a cheap product and immediately label it as bad, because typically when you look at it from the contrasting side, people don't often see an expensive product and just assume that it's good. A lot of times it's an overpriced product with a brand that needs to save some money for marketing or advertising. But for us, the reason why you save money is because of the delivery fees. We're right here in Rochester, right down the road, so it doesn't cost us much to get you that product, and that's why you can sell it at such a low price. I think that if you, or really any customer, tries our product, you'll find that the quality is not being compromised when it comes to our price. And actually, this brings up a pretty good story about a dive bar on Monroe Avenue called Rehab Lounge that was struggling with their business for a while, but eventually they called upon Genesee beer. We struck an agreement and we started selling our beer there. Over the past couple of years, their business has really boomed. They've been able to sell our product in a number of different ways. They sell our beer in bottles at $2 a bottle. It's currently their top selling beer. They also sell our beer in kegs through drafts, where they can do $5 pitchers every night, which compares usually to $7 or $8 for a pitcher of Labatt Blue or Bud Light, which is why our product does so well at this bar. And I think that you'll find the same type of success if you were to make a deal with us. Do you see how our product can help you out?
Yeah, that actually does sound good.
Okay, well, we've discussed the price, we've talked about the popularity, and we've talked about the fact that we are brewed locally, and we've also addressed your concerns with the comparison to the Brooklyn Lager, the size of our company, as well as the misconception about the lower quality of our beer. Did you have any other questions that I can answer for you?
No, actually, I think you've touched on all my concerns.
Okay, great. So how do you feel about making an order with our product today?
Well, you've really helped to explain the benefits of your product, and I appreciate that. I think I'm ready to order from you.
Great. I'll come in tomorrow with the paperwork. We can fill that out and move forward from there.
Sounds great.
I look forward to doing business with you.
Thank you. I look forward